Hungary was, even before the democratic revolution, a kind of a premature welfare state. Professor Kornai, who is a world famous Hungarian economist, always considered the Hungarian state back in the socialist times as a premature welfare state. That was true in the sense that the state was really very generous and the economy was not good enough to support this overly generous welfare state. So, unfortunately, it was supported by foreign borrowing, and as a consequence, it proved to be unsustainable. After the political changes, of course, all transition countries suffered from a so-called transitional decline or slump. And as a consequence, the vestiges of this premature welfare state were destroyed. A new policy was necessary, basically trying to target social assistance towards the needy people. And that is what my government back in the 90s started to do, and that is what most other governments tried to do all throughout the 20 years which passed since the political changes. Now, since 2008-2009, we feel the consequences of the global and European economic and financial crisis, which means that Hungary was in recession in 2009, and once again today it is in recession. As a consequence, there is no growth. Many people, unfortunately, suffer once again from unemployment, from the lack of adequate skills. Not only the unemployment rate is high, 11% in Hungary, but the so-called employment rate is also low. Only a little bit more than half of the employable population has a recorded job, and as a consequence, poverty is spreading once again. So we need two things, obviously. Once again, as I mentioned already, growth, restarting economic growth. Without that, you simply cannot tackle the problem of poverty because the taxes are quite high already, so if you increase them further, that would destroy even more the chances of economic growth. But at the same time, of course, we need social policies which would help those who are in need as a consequence of the crisis. This is exactly where an additional problem can be detected, because the present government, which came to power in 2010, actually did not think that it was important to support the poor people, so they cut back tremendously on those subsidies which were targeted towards the poor, and they enhanced subsidies to the middle class because they believed that this is what needs more financial support. As a consequence, income inequalities are rising at the moment, both as a consequence of the international crisis, but also as a consequence of the specific government policies in Hungary.